For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to open PagePlus and some of the basic shapes and how to bring in pictures. So the first thing to get into PagePlus, you need to log into a desktop computer. This cannot be done on a Chromebook. Once you've logged in, bottom left corner is our Start menu. Click on the Start menu. I've added PagePlus shortcut here in the Start menu. Yours probably does not have that. If it does, click on it. If not, go to All Programs, and you want to slide down and find Serif PagePlus X8. Go ahead and left click on that to open the program. Once we get inside here, for today we're just going to use a plain sheet, so we can do a new publication. We want letter, and here you go is your letter size sheet. So first of all, some basic things. We have our regular standard toolbar up top here, things like normal every program things. We also have the little shortcut icons for the same things. Down the left, this is our tools bar that has things like text and lines and drawing and shapes and stuff. On the right, this side, this is called the studio. So, excuse me, in here, and also the assets tab. What I'm going to have you do first, just to show you the basic shapes. Right over on the left in the tools area, if you mouse over, you'll see it pop up and show you what it is. But we've got all different sorts of shapes. For right now, let's use a quick rectangle. And if you want a background, there's no tool to put a background. You use a rectangle and put it in the back. So I'm going to go clear up to the top left corner, click, left click, and drag down to the bottom right corner. See, it went a little bit big. I just slid a bit. I can always adjust that later. And right now it's blank. I just have a black line around it here. To fill that in, I'm going to click to make sure it's selected. If you see the little lines around it with the little nodes here, the white things, it's selected. I'm going to go to the top right into the color area here, or swatches. With color, you can, first of all, one thing to point out is there's a fill for the inside of the shape. The line for, of course, the line, and if we had text, it's also separate here. So it's very important to make sure you recognize that those three things are there. I can use the shades here. I can go into swatches, and there's all sorts of different options for the palettes here. Probably a good one for us in class would be standard RBG, red, green, blue, and just our normal standard colors here. Choose any color, just make a background color. I'm going to go with blue. And there we go, we now have a background. Text. So let's do this. We have two different text tools, the standard text frame and the artistic text tool. We'll come back and look at both of these, but for now, take the artistic text tool, left click on it, come over and click somewhere towards the upper part of your page here, type in your name. So what I want to show you real quick here is up top in our standard toolbar, we have all of our different fonts. Choose a font, doesn't matter what. With the artistic text tool, which we just selected, I could change the font size here with point size, or with the artistic text, I can take one of these nodes, like the corner node here, and just drag it out. Here we go. Okay. Let's go ahead and change the color. Just anything other than the default, which is black. So if we come back over to the colors here, make sure that text is selected and change it to anything other than black so we can see the difference, because you will be turning this in. And there we go. So I got a background and I have text. The last two different ways I want to show you this, but the last two things I want to show you here for this tutorial is how to import pictures. One way is to use the assets bar right here. There's different options here. If I click on pictures, I can do add and add something from the computer. Right now, you probably don't have anything downloaded to add. It's highly unlikely, so let's close that temporarily. And I have way too many things open. I think this is the one. Open the internet. So I just already had our class page opened up here. I'm just going to go into Google for this. Normally, I would not have you pulling images from the internet like this. Well, at least from Google. But let's go into images and pick, let's say, three different pictures of your choosing. Just as long as it's school appropriate, I don't care what it is. I'm going super simple. We'll do dog. So this is a funny looking little dog here. Um, Left click on whatever image you want to save it. If you right click over the big image here, we want to don't do save link as, do save image as. I'd make sure you have save image as. Select that. There is a specific place I want you to save this. You will have a personal drive. It'll have your username, and clear at the end it should have that letter P colon at the end. Select that. I have lots of stuff in mine. You probably either have no boxes or very few. Let's rename this picture dog, and I'm just going to save it right into, this is my personal drive here, so I'm going to save it in my personal drive. All right, so maybe I'm not. You should not have a full personal drive. But please go ahead and save it to your personal drive. For the moment, though, I guess on mine, I'm just going to save it elsewhere. Desktop, dog. Okay, so yours is saved your personal drive here. If we have a dog, I suppose we should have a cat. That's kind of funny. Same thing, select the image that you like, right click, save image as. Don't copy images, it's going to kill your resolution. Save image as, change the name here, and again, make sure that you're still in your personal drive. And we'll go one more here. I don't know what to put in here. How about, I don't know why, but why not? Lion. That's a funny picture. We'll go with it. Again, right click, save image as. Don't right click and save the tiny little thumbnail because that's the actual size you'll get. We want a bigger one. Save image as, make sure you're in the personal drive. Always good to rename stuff because they always have weird names just due to people uploading so many images. Here we go. So now down at the bottom I can see my dog picture, my cat, and my lion. I'm just going to minimize this and go back into my PagePlus document. So I'll show you a few different ways you can bring those pictures in. The first one, go ahead into the assets bar, press the add button, and again, you go to your personal drive. Since mine was full and it wouldn't let me put it there, I'll go to where I had my stuff saved. And where's my dog picture? Lost one. Huh? I must have clicked on something wrong there. So, and it brings in my image. From here, it stays here and I can just drag and drop and use however I want. I can resize. I can, I could add line around the outside edge here. We can do all sorts of stuff like that. So, if let's go ahead on this one and add a line. So again, what I did here is once I take this out and show you again, drag this over, just drop it, size it. We're going to put 3 pictures in here, so size it big enough where we can fit a few more pictures. I went over to the studio and clicked on line and just drag that size up. How about, let's do 12 point. It's a nice thick line on there. And there are some other adjustments here, like on how the corners sit and stuff like that. If you want to make adjustments, go ahead. But the big thing that I'd like to see is 12-point font is what I'm going to look for. We can adjust the alignment of where that actually sits on the image. just so you know, I'm not that worried about it. Let's leave the dash pattern solid. However, just so you can see, by changing that dash pattern, you can see what it will do here. But I don't want to do that. I want to leave it full. So I got to make sure all the little boxes are selected and blackened in, which up here in line style, I can change it just by going back to solid. So there's one way to bring in images. A second way, on the left hand on the tools, there's a thing that looks like a little, it reminds me of a little postcard, but it's a photograph. Select that and let's do rectangular picture frame. Just drag out a box the size that you want to import your picture into. Down in the lower right corner is replace picture. We'll select that and find your image that you want to use. I'll go with the line this time. Anytime you bring in images, make sure it's set to embed picture, which is extremely important for when you turn things in, to make sure that's set to embed picture. So open, there's my lion. With this one, let me show you something different we can do. So over here in the assets, I'm going to go to picture frames and browse. It's all sorts of different picture frames in here. Let's select some picture frame. And my computer's thinking. Oops. If you just drop it right onto your picture, that will set it in place. Also here we have some other options. I can position the image just to show you. I can zoom in and zoom out on that picture. This is the one thing you got to watch though. If you do that, you can move it so it fits in there a little better. Maybe I want to zoom in better on his face, but just so you know, that's an option, and we can replace that picture if you put in the wrong thing. So slide this up out of the way here. This one out of the way. And our last one was the dog, which I seem to have misplaced. So real quick, I'm going to go back and add another picture. One I added is there somewhere. I'm just not going to take the time to find it right now. So again, right click, save image as. I'll make sure I know where I'm at here. Oh, I see what it is. It came up as some really odd file type. I don't know why. That's my problem. So it did save it where I wanted to. If that happens, honestly, best bet is just change the picture. I'll go with this little dog. Save image as. Now we got a normal raster image, JPEG. Let's call this one dog. Save. Back to PagePlus. Let me show you a third way to bring in pictures. So if I wanted it in a picture frame, I can go straight to the frames. And I need to browse frames. I can select whatever in the world I want here. Close. Drag this out. It's running a little slow here. Put it over the whole thing. So I didn't intend on that being on the whole shape here. So the easy way would be to undo that. Probably if I just drag it here in no man's land and then move it over. I can just do replace picture. Go find my dog picture. Make sure it's on embed. Open. And here we go. Last thing I want to show you here today for this tutorial. Shrink them so they can fit a little better. So size these down a little bit. And if desired, which for what you're going to turn in, please do this. Take each of these. There's the one round dot up top. Take that, click, and we can tilt these to different angles. Just kind of twist these around a little bit and throw them in here. Maybe I want to overlap them. Maybe I don't. depends on what we're designing here. Actually, it might be easier if I set these all the same direction. Here's something else cool I can do. I know I said we were done. I lied unintentionally. Take this. It's covering up my text. If I want to put something behind my text like that, but it's covering it up, this is a great tool. Up top here, you will have these, looks like a bunch of little, almost like sticky notes. If you mouse over, it tells you what they are. We can do send back one, and that will drop it back behind whatever's there. So I can move these forward and backward, almost like pieces of paper laying on top of each other. So right now the dog is on top of the lion. I could change that if I wanted to. I can take the lion, go to either forward one and go layer by layer, or bring the front. So we do have the ability to move different layers up and down. So right now what you should have is a background color. You should have your name up top in a color that's not black. You should have some picture with a black outline from using the line tool. And we should have two other pictures that have been added using picture frames. We looked at, again, just dragging, dropping onto a picture to add that in place, bringing this out on its own and changing it to add the background in. At this point, last thing you'll need to do right now, and if you ever need to, select the image or whatever and hit delete, the delete key, not backspace, but delete. That'll get rid of stuff. File, save as. The changes to asset pack, if you want to reuse the stuff you put over here, you could do yes. Otherwise, I'm going to do no. Again, make sure you save this to your personal drive. Let's call this tutorial 1. I'm going to put it with the rest of my stuff here. And save. That way we can keep track of what we've done. This will then be turned in on Classroom. So find the appropriate area on Classroom, turn this in so you can get credit for that.